Hello, Astha.
Hi Sanjay, how are you doing?
Good. Finally, we're doing this episode.
After a very long wait.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's worth the wait also because you're now sitting in NID,
Yes, that's correct.
right? Quite the journey it would have been. I remember speaking to you as well,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we'll talk all about that. But how does it feel to be actually in the college? Although I would say here that, NID is, at the end of the day, is the college, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it has to align with what you want to do in future,
yes.
right? Still, it is one of the best colleges that we have in India, right?
Right.
So how does it feel?
Honestly, I'm still yet to believe that I'm here.
Okay.
Like I'm still digesting it because like our classes haven't started yet.
Hmm.
But I'm sure once they start, we'll be able to digest the information. But it's still very like, am I really here? Am I really in NID?
Okay.
Like that's what it's feeling like. And I thought once I reach here, it'll hit me.
Right.
But it's still like, I don't know. I feel very like, have I really done it? Like, is this really happening? I'm still in shock, I would say.
I'm
Yeah,
sure. I mean, you would have worked for it and you were planning to
for
do
sure.
this for.
Yeah, yeah,
So now you've had bachelor's in design experience, right?
yeah.
And
Yes,
you've secured All India Rank 3 in general category in apparel design,
that's correct.
correct? So what was your bachelor's in?
My bachelor's was also in fashion and apparel designing.
Okay.
So I do come from a background of apparel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I think that also made it a little easier for me in a certain way
Hmm.
to get through this because I did have some experience and knowledge in the same field. And yeah, I feel like that played a very big role. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you said you have experience. How many years of experience did you have?
I have around 5 years of experience, 3 years of experience designing for a brand called Mayank Modi as a fashion designer. And I do have almost 2 years of experience in a company called Streamoid. That's a company under Aditya Birla Online Fashion
Okay.
as a fashion data curator, basically helping with search engine optimization. So for garments.
Okay.
So yeah, so I do have these two experiences,
Okay.
which also helped me gain a lot of knowledge, through the process.
Yeah, so these are two very different things that you've done,
Yes, they are very
right?
different things.
SEO in fashion, yes, but
Yeah.
that's not something that people would usually pick up after, bachelor's. So how did that
Yeah.
happen?
So, like our bachelor's got over, and we got offered an internship from this company,
Hmm.
and it was right just before COVID. Like I graduated in 2019.
Okay.
So, just before COVID, I interned here for 6 months. I took the internship to like basically explore the fields
Hmm.
because there are so many fields you can get into in fashion. I was like, why don't we try this as well? I went with it. So, previously, also, I'd done a few internships in like communication, in like social media, etc. So, I was like, let me give this a shot. I gave this a shot. I worked for 6 months. I liked the job. It was really fun. Like, it was a no-brainer, like for us.
Okay.
Okay. And we were happy with the pay. We all were like having fun. First corporate job, perks are
Hmm.
great. 6 months down the line, COVID hit us, and that got shifted to work from home. We were very grateful to have a job in COVID.
Yeah,
Like
I know, right?
fashion industry was doing not so well in the
Yeah.
COVID time. So we were very grateful that we had this job, and most of the businesses were shutting, and things were not looking good for a lot of people. So I decided to keep this job for a while,
Hmm.
but I think I reached a threshold after a point. And I was
Okay.
like, this is not what I want to do. This is never what I wanted to do. Uh, so I just went ahead and quit. Like, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't care. It's COVID. I don't care about anything. I want to be a designer and I want to just quit. No, I can't do it. Like, and I felt like it was a big safety net. Like,
Yeah.
great pay, working from home. So I was like, let me quit this job. I went ahead, put my papers in. I gave a couple of months of notice period, and next thing, what I started doing is I started working on my portfolio because it was really difficult to work and work on my portfolio together with COVID being in the background. It was already a difficult time for all of us. So I went ahead and quit. It took me around 3 or 4 months, like 2, 3 months to finish my portfolio. But the job market was really bad back then.
Hmm.
So it was a little difficult to find any opportunities.
Okay.
And then I landed upon Mayank Modi after around 5.5, 6 months.
Okay.
And I started with Mayank Modi as a designer. I loved the job. It was great. Creative freedom was given to us. We could work at our own time. We could design with our own intention. Like, it wasn't like a corporate job designing where it would be like submit 20 designs per week or per month. It was like, the company's briefing, the company's style. Go ahead and design what you like. In these, like, we would get a simple brief, like, okay, maybe focus on this for winters, focus on that for summers. But we had the freedom to do whatever, design whatever we wanted. A job like that is like your dream, right?
Yeah, I know.
So it was really fun in the beginning. But then slowly I understood the need for masters
Hmm.
and how important it is for me to deepen my learning. Not because I felt like after a point, after the couple of years in the job, I felt like I'd learned everything I could have.
Okay.
And I felt like I wasn't growing anymore. There was no scope for growth also in the job. Like, it's like you could be a fashion designer and that's it. There were no like positions you could move up to. So I just felt like I'm feeling a little stuck here. I'm just doing the same thing for 2 years, and like,
Okay.
so that's when it hit me that maybe I should look into masters, look into deepening my learning, look into, and I really care about sustainability, and I felt like I couldn't see that in Mayank Modi. While we tried a lot, it is really difficult to be sustainable for the environment. So I decided to go ahead and apply for masters. Now there are two colleges that I was looking at. I was looking at NIFT Masters of Design, and I was looking at NID.
Okay.
I just generally loved NID's approach,
Okay.
and I was like, wow, what a way to look at design, and it was great for me. And so then I started my journey on starting to prepare for NID.
Okay.
That's where it began.
All right. So you said you've realized the need for masters. I know you've
Yeah.
mentioned like a couple of things that you learned everything that the job had to offer, and then you wanted to also grow up the ladder,
Yes.
right? So the two main things that I've noticed. Now, um, what made you think that it wasn't a switch of a job, but a master's that can solve this?
To speak about switching a job, I think it was a couple of things that I had in mind. Firstly, I was very spoiled by this first design job that I had. Very spoiled. Like, I was like given all the creative freedom I needed. I also used to manage the production unit, which was really fun. Like, I just basically loved the job. The only problem was that I was not moving up the ladder. I wanted to manage something. I wanted to do something which I was not getting an opportunity here to do.
Right.
So I feel like with 3 years of experience, if I tried to like that back then, 2 years of experience, and just like 1 year and 8 months of not experience in design, it's experience in something else. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like the opportunities out there weren't so great for me. Like, I couldn't see a lot of opportunities for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to maintain this environment of being able to design however we want as a designer. Like, I don't like a background that's very controlling, that, oh, you got to do this, you got to submit this. I got very spoiled with it. So I felt like, switching jobs would not work in my favor,
Hmm.
because no one's going to promote you at this age, no one's going to promote you with such little experience. And
Hmm.
I feel like slowly and gradually, India is becoming a place where I think you need a master's to be on a higher level.
Okay.
I do see that need. So switching jobs would be like taking it on the same level and like doing the same thing somewhere else, or something else somewhere else, but in the same level. So it was very important for me to like move up the ladder basically.
So here you've got like 3 years of experience in this job, right?
Now I
And
do, yes.
yeah, 3 years of experience. And now that you're saying that you have to, let's say, realization that okay, now, or the need that okay, this has to be done. That being said, that you've considered, was it easy to go through that process of, now that you've decided, okay, masters it
Yeah.
is, but 3 years in the industry and nothing related to studies. How was that?
I think it's one of the toughest things I've had to do
Okay.
in all my life. So many points there that we don't even consider.
Hmm.
One being that we are so used to working and not sitting and studying. It's
Hmm.
so scary that it's very overwhelming in
Hmm.
the start. That oh, I have to sit and study, I have to sit and sketch. That's number one, studying
Right.
again after so many years. Number two point being very important point, I must say, while we were in college, we used to do a lot of sketches by hand, but
Right.
soon everything moved to a very digital approach,
Yeah.
right? So we made sure to master ourselves in that digital approach. I made sure that I learned Illustrator to like the best of my capabilities. Learn Photoshop, try to learn Flow 3D, and upgrade myself in any way possible. Then now, after 5 years, you're telling me that I got to start sketching again.
Yeah.
It's really difficult because like society told me to like move to digital, and now you're telling me I got to move back to. It was a bit of a switch for me. It was a little difficult transition, but I think sketching comes naturally to me, so it was still an okay transition, but it was a difficult transition. Like it was, it was not as easy at it as it looks because you forget to
Yeah.
hold a pencil again. You forget, like I got so used to my Wacom, like sketching on the Wacom. I got really fast with it. I got great with Illustrator, but I got slow with the live sketching, and that was really challenging after so many years. And sitting and practicing for something was really challenging after so many years.
Yeah.
So like I had a 9:30 to 5 9:30 to 6 job, and I used to live in Bangalore. That
Okay.
means I have to leave 2 hours before, and I would reach at like 7:30
Crazy.
in the evening. All right. Now I've given my best at work, and you need that mental space to come back and like start working on your sketching skills as well. Because mostly NID, from what I did my research, it's like you got to be really good at sketching. So what I started doing is I started just coming back and sketching for it. And so there were so many days where I just didn't want to. Like I would come back home, I'd put
Hmm.
up a timetable for myself that I'd come back home, no breaks, nothing. Just go sit, eat something, go sit to sketch, and like only get up next is for dinner. So that was literally my schedule, and that's what I would do. So what I did, basically what happened with me was I decided that I wanted to do a master's in not this November, last November.
Oh,
And when I looked at the forms, they were already out, and I could have given the exam last year. But I decided not to do that because I felt very unprepared. A
okay.
lot of people told me, they're like, no, please go ahead, give the exam just for the experience. But I don't test well, so I decided not to give it.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like I did a great thing for myself because I could then clear it in this time.
Right.
So I had a good 1 year to prep for this. So yeah, that was my timetable. I would come back home, I would sketch, I would read up every time, every minute that I made it my life. Like I made getting into NID my whole life. Like if I had free time, I would read up on something. If I had like a minute, like there were times it was so hectic for me that I had to literally do my sketching goals in lunch break at office. Like that's
Okay.
how that's how crazy hectic it got for me because I had a target for myself and all of that. So
So let's talk about the practices also that you've done,
yes,
the
yes,
exercises, and also the goals that you talked about right now,
yeah,
and also the readings, right? So let's go one by one on it.
sure, sure.
All right. So let's talk about the sketching exercises.
Okay. So first thing what I started was with, so because I'm from a design background, I do have an idea of what we would need and all of that. So I started with my basic lines, circles, cubes, refreshing on like all the topics like perspective and object drawing and all of that. So I had this book where there were these human figures. I could just, it's a very old book. It's from school. Just see and draw human figures and not see and draw them as well. Practice my basic like 10 head figures, 8 head figures. I tried to just draw it within a minute because as you know, like you need to be a little fast with your sketching as well. So I started with that. I even did perspective. very thoroughly, like all the 3 points of perspective. I did object drawing, I did perspective, I did storyboards, I did poster drawing, fashion sketches. Yeah, everything I could think of, I would just draw.
Right. So, for example, you mentioned storyboards, right? Like, so, how
Yes.
did you practice for that? Like, what did you do?
Okay, so see, now that we know that we have to do storyboards for, I think what I started to do was first I practiced my objects in perspective.
Hmm.
I started with just sketching objects first in 2D, then in 3D, then in perspective. So that helped me with the transition of being able to draw any object in any way I want. Then storyboard would be the last step of it, like, because it's just a concept that you need to come up with it in your head, and then you just have to make sure that you get it right on paper. Like, you should be able to translate it on paper. If you're not able
Right.
to translate it, there's no point doing it.
Yeah.
So that was, I did most of that in the end, like storyboard and poster and all of that. First I started like drawing animals,
Hmm.
drawing objects, everything, like in 2D, 3D, still life drawing, all of that. Then once I learned all of it, then I moved into storyboarding. How I would practice storyboarding is, so first I went to Pinterest. I looked at a few, like there are so many storyboards on
Yeah.
Pinterest which are so like interesting.
Right.
So I went ahead and looked at a bunch of them, like a lot of them. And then I would look up on the internet some storyboard topics, or I would ask like my friends to just give me like a brief randomly. There's a topic called memory drawing as well.
Yeah.
So I would just ask my friends to be like, ऐसे कुछ भी दे दो, ऐसे
Hmm.
मतलब ऐसे बोलो कि ये draw करो and कुछ भी दे दो. Like train station, all that is known topics of NID. But
Right.
the rest of the things, I was like, how do I practice? So I just like told my dad, I was like, give me something like, to draw. What would you want me to draw? So
Huh.
he'd give me something to draw. I'd just draw it, because the whole point of this is to be able to draw from memory and not seeing and drawing. That was also difficult because dekhe I feel like you can draw anything,
Yeah.
but when you have to draw from memory, that's a challenge. So yeah, that's how I practice. It was very random. Like, I used to just go up to my mom, be like, "Kya banao aaj?" She would be like, "Draw this," and I would just sketch out like whatever she wanted me to sketch out. And yeah, that's how I approached it. In storyboards, I looked at like Pinterest, and like some topics I found on Pinterest. It's all over Pinterest. It's U Academy or UDEMY. I don't know what it's, something like that. It comes in a purple logo. So they had a lot of topics they wanted to give you for the storyboard on
Yeah.
Pinterest.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and once you get that algorithm, you keep getting
Yeah.
more of those. So I found those. I looked up whatever I could find, and I used to just prepare storyboards on that. And I did have like a NID graduate who's a very close friend of mine, actually, who I would like show these things to, and like she would guide me and all of that. And yeah, that's how I did it.
So, I think first of all, the basics of, the making humans, and then
Yeah,
then asking people to give you random scenarios,
yeah.
and then you
First, first basics of human, then 2D humans, then 3D humans,
3D humans. Yeah.
then humans in perspective.
Right.
Because एकदम से आप जाके ऐसे humans in perspective चालू करोगे तो that तो was a little like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I would say that try to find like a process for yourself. Ki this is what I
Right.
want to do first. Then I'd reach here. Don't go for the last step, first. So that I think that way I knew sketching, I knew my topics. So that also helped me a little bit. Like, nobody had to train me about all of this. Like, I had a background of design, right? So like, I know light sketching, I know all of these things. So that also helped.
So, leading to your NID ka exam,
Hmm.
and also I'm also assuming that since you worked so much in the industry, you did not really have a challenge to prepare a portfolio for NID, or how was your
Yeah.
approach to it?
So when I took those few months off after my first job and my second job, I mainly took it to do my portfolio. So I had two very strong collections made back then, one men's, one women's, which I didn't make in real life, but I just did the illustrations for it. And those collections were both for a cause. So they were kind of ready, and they were very much an NID's approach, coincidentally.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to show that I wanted to be a designer for a cause, and that was very much seen in both my collections. So that way, I did have some part of it ready. I did do some part of it while I was working keeping things ready in the background that, oh, this is what I would do if I would get to the first round, because they don't give you a lot of time after your first and second round. You only get a few weeks. So you can't pull together a portfolio in few weeks. So I made sure that I have things ready. And so that way I did have some help. So third collection I did while I was preparing.
So now you also mentioned reading something during the preparation. So what did you read?
Basically, I wanted to brush up on my general knowledge, like, because it's important for us to know our surroundings. And they tell you that you have to know the logos, you have to know about the fabrics. You should know about the fabrics, you should know about the traditional attires, let's say. So what I would do is I would start with something like very basic, like I would start with like color theory. I'd start reading up on that, I'd start watching videos on that. Then I would start maybe on like types of fibers. I
Hmm.
would start reading up on that. Then from there I could go to like fabrics. Then I could go to like types of weaves or types of embroideries. I feel like once you find one thing, you are bound to find the other thing. Like वो
Right.
fiber से fabric से embroidery से weave, ऐसे like वो मिल जाता है आपको. I did a lot of reading on that. I made sure to read the news every day, and I did a lot of essay traditional attires for, like, let's say for the states. Like, this is not something that is commonly, it's obvious that you need to know fabric knowledge and embroidery knowledge, but it's not obvious for you to know the traditional attire of a state.
Yeah.
I made sure to just read up on it because it just increases your knowledge. So like that, like I went a little out of the box to just, if I was a little curious about anything, I would go ahead and read up on it.
Hmm.
Like types of saris and like whatnot. So I had like these notes, I would read up on it, and it's very difficult to remember all this information when
Right.
you put it all together. So I made a notebook. I would once I made notes on it, I would read up on it in my free time. Just before bed, I would read up on it. Like that's what I did.
Quite free form, yet a little bit structured here is what I see.
Yeah.
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 Quite free
So
form,
I
but
feel like I started.
yeah.
Start
Yeah.
something, you'll get your path, I feel.
Right. I think
Yeah.
that's the most important thing that people just think, and don't do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I was also like that. Then I was like, what am I doing? Like, I got to start somewhere. And I even bought that book. There is this book, right? NID NIFT preparation book. I just looked for something online. Okay, like I went on Amazon. I was like, NIFT books, NID books. And I
right.
got this one fat book. Now, as
Right.
soon as this fat book comes in your hand, it's
Right.
very overwhelming to see that how can I even finish this in a year, 2 years, 3 years? I
Right.
can't finish this. Okay. But I was like, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, एक एक पेज करते हैं, एक एक वो करते हैं. तो in that book also there was a lot of those non-verbal reasonings and all of that,
Right.
which was really fun actually, like analytical non-verbal reasoning, and something else is there which is really like fun and pictorial to work with. So I just
Okay.
started to do that. And yeah, and like GK, they have like this much of GK. They
Okay.
expect you to read up on everything. मैंने बोला नहीं होगा मुझसे ये सब. So I just did my own research.
Right. So it was
Yeah.
fun also while you were doing all of this, right? You were probably
Yeah,
enjoying it because maybe
it was.
let me draw a parallel here because now you're working in like you've had this mindset of working where
Yeah,
probably deadlines, designs, etc., etc. to deal with that, and now you have these free form explorations going on, so which would be a sort of a break from that.
it would definitely be a break from that. Like, while it was fun, it was also really difficult. Like, I feel
Mm.
like we don't see the mental capacity we need to come back from work and then sit to sketch, give up your Saturday, give up your Sunday so that you can research, you can sketch all day. I think we underestimate it because
Yeah, yeah,
as human beings, we're very used to getting Saturday, Sundays off. Okay.
yeah. Mm.
But I feel like as soon as you give it up, you're like, wow, I don't even get a day to myself. I have to wake up early to study. I have to wake up early to do this.
Yeah.
So a lot of social experiences I had to give up because of this. I feel like no one saw how much I worked for this. They
Hmm.
thought it was just sketching. कि sketching कर रही है बैठ के बस और कुछ नहीं कर रही है. But it's a lot of things you have to consider.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't like a breeze,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm sure. I mean, the switching mindsets also it takes a toll on
That
you, right?
yeah, that took me a few months also. to
Yeah,
like come back to sketching, come back to studying. That was tough as well.
definitely. So describe the exam day to me because now we have worked
Hmm.
so hard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Given up your social, bit of your social life,
Yeah.
and then you reach the exam center, and then you have this question paper right in front of you. How was that?
Okay, so NID does, I gave two exams. I gave textile and I gave apparel.
Hmm.
So when you, so I reached the exam center, like basically you want to know about the journey of how I gave the exam and
Yeah.
what came. Would you want to know the questions as well?
Yeah.
I'll think of it if I remember them now. I mainly remember textile freshly because textile is the second paper I gave, and I do remember a little bit from fashion as well. So for the questions, one of the questions was that they had given us, I don't know what to call it, but it looked like a tunic. This was second or third question. They'd given us a tunic and only one half of it. And they'd asked us to finish the other half of it. That was one part of the question. Then the second part of the question was they wanted us to describe what this garment looks like to us and what where we would use it and like just basically give a description of it. The second part of the question was to take five elements from that tunic that they'd given us, take away five elements and add five new elements that we think would make sense to us in a certain way in an occasion basically.
Okay.
So this tunic was like this long tunic, very baggy, and it had like this cut and like a placket in the front. Think of it like that. What I did is I basically gave it a purpose by kind of converting it into a formal shirt. Like that was my purpose. That I added button down. I remember adding like a pocket. I remember adding a few cool things to the shirt, which made it very like formal and it gave it a purpose. And basically, their point was give it what would you do to the shirt? What would you do to the
Hmm.
tutu? So I made it into a formal shirt and I gave it concealed plackets for just in case, women, it's better for women. There are no peaks and all of that. So there were like these little details that I added to the shirt. Yeah, that's how I did that question.
Okay.
And so I remember there being two parts in that question. One was drawing the right side of it in a flat sketch manner, and one was taking away five elements from it and adding five elements.
Okay.
And we had to also like give some descriptions and all in most of the questions, like explain your answer or explain why you converted it into what you converted it in. And that was one question. Then I remember the last question. This was India is launching Chandrayaan, how do you
Chandrayaan.
pronounce it?
Chandrayaan.
Chandrayaan 3. And we are supposed to design basically garments for the astronauts that are going to space.
Mm.
We had to design for them and we had to give them three challenges that you would face in space.
Okay. Okay.
So the challenges that I wrote were, मेरे को अभी थोड़ा थोड़ा याद है, but I remember writing that if the power goes out, there would be no power, and if the high weather conditions and gravity being one, and no oxygen being one, etc. So like there were like I think five spaces of problems that you would face there, and using these problems, we have to also you have to keep these problems in mind and you have to sketch and design garments for the astronauts on the right side. So I took the no light, no gravity, and no oxygen into consideration. Like I took three of those, and I
Okay.
made like this jumpsuit where they can basically, if they need to quickly just go outside, they can put on their like whatever the head thing is, and they can go it. And I added reflectors to those. There were so many small details that I did, which I'm so blank on right now. But yeah, basically made a jumpsuit and reflectors, and that's all I remember
Okay.
for now. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that were a couple of questions. I
Right.
do remember the situation test better. Like
Right.
this was
Okay.
a few months back, right? I remember the situation test better. I'll give you some questions of that. One was that you were given a few items, like you were given a thread, you were given little bit of a muslin fabric, not much, like a little bit, sewing needle and thread, and a rope, like a thin rope, thread rope kind of a thing,
Okay.
and sticks. Okay. Now this is a
Okay.
very interesting question. we as as human beings are a part of a place. We live in a place where natural calamities are very, like, they easily happen there.
Okay.
So we are supposed to design a garment that can be converted into a body stretcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not just design it, we have to first was to show a flat sketch of it. We even got the little mannequin in that question.
Okay.
Okay. We don't just have to sketch it, we have to drape on it
Right.
what we are thinking. Then the third part of the question was, so first part was drape on it, second was a flat sketch of it, third was show the transition of it converting into a body stretcher. So we had four boxes where we had to show them in those four. No, I think we had a box. I decided to show them in four boxes,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
And also give a small description. There was this description everywhere, mostly everywhere. So now, would you like to know what I did? Or,
Yes, go
okay,
ahead.
yeah, this was a tough one. It took me some time. So what I did was, is so I took a rectangular piece of clothing,
Okay.
like a rectangular piece of muslin, and I basically created loops on the side, on either side. That would help me insert the sticks on the side. So that was my main goal. So I took that and I draped it in such a way that it would start from the left of the hip, it would
Mm.
end, it would wrap around the back, and it would come in end at the front, securing with a button
Okay.
on one side of the hip.
All right.
Then that would go down and
Okay.
it would come up till my neck. Okay, the drape would go down and come up till my neck, and I would cinch it at the waist with a thread. And I also did a top underneath it just for this thing. My garment mainly was the drape skirt that could
Okay.
get converted into a body stretcher. So
Okay.
that's basically what I did. I do the flat sketch for it, and I also showed the transition of how you could just. And it's a very thick GSM fabric, because a body stretcher has to be, like, I wrote a twill 250 GSM. I gave little details of it, which I think gave me some brownie points. Like, try to explain everything I had, and then I showed how it would get converted. It would just, you could just unwrap it. You could unwrap the thread from your waist. You could unwrap the dress, unbutton it, keep it
Right.
on the ground, and insert the sticks from the side.
Right.
So that's what I did. I remember this
Interesting.
question.
Yeah.
One more question was, you are a part of the NGO, which already is working with converting bed sheets and other things into whatever you like want it to be converted in. How would you add to this business module? Basically, we had to give them two business ideas. I remember there being two, like, columns where we had to give
Right.
one idea, we had to give another idea. And I remember it being basically about adding to the business and growing the business, but keeping it sustainable. That
Okay.
was the main focus.
Okay.
So now what I did for that is reusing bed sheets and stuff in a certain way.
Hmm.
So I remember one of the business modules that I came up with was coming up with a limited edition clothing line or a brand, which could be one unique piece made from scrap
Hmm.
of whatever you find in the industry. And, like, it could be free size, like things like a baggy jacket, or like a pant that's baggy and stuff like that. And we also had to give pros and cons for those. So I give the pros and cons that, oh, you would require high skill labor to do something like this, more time consuming, less profit, all of that. I wrote a small paragraph and I did that. But I don't remember what was the second business module I did. And that was a good one. I remember it being a good one. This was the stupid one.
Okay.
I really can't remember. But yeah, that was one of the questions. And one more question was this kind of, I also till date, I'm not sure what I did was correct or what the question was. Till date, I'm confused. I'm confused. But this was one of the first questions. So you know what a patchwork is, right?
Right.
Like, basically, they told us from the question that patchworks are done for a certain reason.
Hmm.
Like, and we are supposed to use those patchworks and design a school uniform to a casual outfit.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, that's something like that. I remember the question being. Now, what I did was a bit extravagant. Like, it was a bit,
Okay.
like, unnecessary, I feel. So for the school uniform, what I did was I had to use patchwork in a functional way. Yeah, you
Right.
have to use patchwork in a functional way, right? So what I did was, firstly, like I designed like a blazer, a skirt for a female school student, a skirt, a shirt. In the blazer, just to add something patch related, I put an
Okay.
elbow patch,
Okay.
which, as you know, helps with the wear and tear of the garment. Then what I did was and the skirt was also like a patchwork skirt, like it was like the pleats were in patchwork. The main thing that I feel like gave me some points was the shirt that I did. You had to explain why you're doing this patchwork in the next page, and basically I took the 7 types of intelligence that are there, like, intrapersonal, creative intelligence, etc., etc. In this school that they are going in, it's not a basic school where you would learn math, science, English, etc. You
Okay.
would be trained in terms of the types of intelligence that you have.
Hmm.
So the patchwork, there was the shirt, and the shirt had a pocket. And on top of the pocket, there were a few things that would be patched on, like the color of the house that you're in would be like a yellow patch or whatever. Then, like, if you are intrapersonally intelligent, then you would have like the color of the houses was a different category, and the color of the intelligence was a different category. And you would patch that on. Your name would be written on your pocket as well. And the logo of the school was a patchwork. So basically, there was this very creative pocket that was there, which had a patch of all these things. I only had that much space to explain and draw that, very limited space.
Okay.
And for the casual wear, from somewhere from like one of the master Gs that I worked with told me that when you wear a sweatshirt, there's a V patch in the front. Do
Yeah.
you know about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like a V patch. Have you ever wondered what it is about?
No.
Yeah. So, well, I did. And I
Okay.
asked around. So one of the masters, it's not like, it's not a short information, but he told me that it's basically to, like, when you put on the sweatshirt from your head, it tends to stretch out a bit and it tends to wear out very fast. So they give you that patch so that it doesn't stretch out that easily and basically doesn't wear and tear so quickly. So that's what I used in the casual wear. I designed like a sweatshirt with the V patch. I implemented that V patch. And what I did is, like, a lot of times you see like there can be like a sweat being the main concern designing a sweatshirt. A lot of men or women, they have like a sweat patch under their arm, which is not very pleasant to see.
Hmm.
So I designed the garment in such a way that on the right side of the garment, and like on either sides of the garment, and on the sleeve part, on
Hmm.
the inner sleeve part, it was it was continuously going, and it was a darker color. So if there is a sweat patch, then it
Right.
wouldn't be seen because of the darker color. So I gave it a function with patch. So that's what I did. That's what I remember.
Okay.
Other questions are gone out of my head.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. And
yeah,
this now takes you to the, like, all the solutions that you gave, you made it through the first round, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you go to the second round, like you also shared the second round questions and everything. But then there is interview.
There's an interview as
Yeah.
well.
So you would have for sure gotten this
You're
question that
scared.
why are you coming for masters now?
Actually, I did get that question. It
Really?
was, yeah, it was, I was very scared that my interview didn't go very well. Um,
Surprised.
very surprised. They didn't ask me all the cliche questions. They asked me, I feel like everyone in the faculty who was taking our interview, they were very concerned about what I was doing in my job currently because I was still working then. I was working till like a month before this.
Yeah,
So
right.
they were very concerned about what I was doing there, how the process works, and
Okay.
like what the process is about the this thing. And
Okay.
I told them that, and that's it. They let me go. And what happened is, as soon as I sat in the interview, they're like, show us something that you have done or show us your portfolio or whatever. So I was like, okay. So as soon as I sat, the latest thing that I had done was the work portfolio that I had. So I ended up opening that, and I showed that. So I feel like, I don't know if I took my tone of the interview in terms of what I do for work, or if they were genuinely interested. I still don't
Hmm.
know that. But I feel like we started with that. We started with the work portfolio, and I feel like the direction only went into what I'm doing as a designer in Mayank Modi.
Right.
So most of the conversation was about that. And I really wanted to show them my other collections, but they were like, that's it, you can leave. And I genuinely thought my interview didn't go well. I
How
was like,
long was it for?
I felt like it was 2 minutes, honestly, but it literally felt like 2 minutes of chaos. But people outside told me it was around 10 to 15 minutes, which was a relatively shorter interview than
Yeah,
other people
short
around.
interview. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got very scared then. I was like, ये तो अब तो गए, ये क्या होगा, ये क्या हो गया, पता नहीं क्या बोला मैंने. But it was fine, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So I think a lot of knowledge from your workplace helped you in your studio test also with the
Yes,
back work. A lot of
definitely.
practical knowledge, I would say, helped
Practical
quite a
knowledge
lot. Yeah.
definitely helped a lot. And because I used to drape there,
Yeah.
I had the freedom to drape there. I
Hmm.
was walking around with like people, other designers, master Gs, karigars were right in front of me, tailors were right in front of me. So I was seeing that every day. So that also helped a lot. That also helped a lot.
Now that you have like, 2.5 years of study in front of you,
Yeah.
right? So what is your bigger goal like after NID?
Mm,
What is your bigger goal?
okay. My bigger goal is actually to be a designer for a cause.
Okay.
That's what my both collections are based on. And
Hmm.
I don't just want to design like a t-shirt or like essay. Like I just don't want to just design for a brand. I want to be able to bring a cause forward and bring that to light. Like if I talk about those two collections that I'm doing, they are one of the collections menswear is for like it's basically ikkat, which is correlated to endangerment of animals. As ikkat art is dying, as endangered animals are dying, our ikkat art is also dying because it's all getting like everything's becoming machine weave
Right.
and printed ikkat. That makes me sick. Like
Yeah, I know, right?
it makes me sick. But there were a lot of times in Mayank Modi also I had to work with printed ikat. I had to work with kasuti printed, like bandhani printed, which makes me so. It genuinely made me so sad. Like, why are we doing this? But that's how life's being, and I want to focus on things like that. I want to focus on keeping the art alive, like So that's my main focus. I want to see where it takes me as well.
Nice.
So
Quite interesting. And I think that's a very, what do you say? Somebody who loves the craft so much
yeah.
that you want to, protect or even revive or even contextualize it for today,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, exactly. That as well. And yeah, so that's my main focus after NID as well. I hope it stays that way. Uh, because NID apparently changes you as a person. So
For
let's
good or the
hope it
bad.
stays for good. For good.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you stick on to this as well because I would love to see what you do with it because
Yeah,
it's an interesting space to be in and as you said, ikat and other crafts.
yeah,
There are so
yeah,
many crafts that they are actually dying,
yeah.
and it would be really nice to when the rest of the world is looking at us and borrowing from us. You remember the recent Prada thing that happened?
Oh my God.
This is nonsense, right?
Why? That's what I can't believe people are buying it. Like,
Yeah, I know.
why would you buy that? What are you thinking? Like,
Yeah, but I think the Western world is so alien to it. They found it like
yeah,
this is so
that's
nice.
the problem. We can't help. In India, people are very well aware of what's happening, but I think the
Yeah.
West, like, and if you notice, there are a lot of design inspiration that comes from our
Oh
country.
yes. Oh yes. A
A
lot.
lot of a lot of it, which is so ignored, I
Yeah.
feel out there, and it needs to be brought to light that
Absolutely.
we've had this for generations,
Yeah.
and yeah. So yeah, that's why printed ikat. No, it just makes me sick. Like it's not able to get out of my head. Like it's just
I know. It's a very beautiful craft though. I mean, I've seen it happen in front of me also. I've had like a lot of products of made of ikat. It's beautiful. It's nice. And
it
it's
is.
I mean, I've seen the expensive ones also. Like
Hmm.
the very
Hmm.
expensive ikats, like very beautifully done. But then if you print it out, it just loses its soul. I feel like that.
It's very sad
But I think you should definitely do something in that direction.
about this.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I came to NID for.
That's great. That's great. But overall, it was like a really nice journey that you've had. And I think a lot of determination.
They say right, like don't go into the NID exam stressed. Like,
Mm.
try to go have fun.
Yeah.
And it's meant for you to have fun. Like,
Right.
don't go into the exam like that. So I started with that approach. I was
Right.
like, okay, I'm gonna have fun. Like, it's supposed to be fun.
Mm.
But turns out I was so stressed out about this. I was so like I didn't know I was taking stress because I had a mask on and I was like, everything's fun. I'm sketching, it's great, all good. I come back home, I sketch, it's all chill. I was so stressed that my body took a toll on me. Like, I hope this is okay to talk about over here, but like, I have been, my menstrual cycle has been very regular for a very long time, but I was so stressed that that affected that. And like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know I was stressed. Like, my body was
Right.
showing me signs that I'm stressed. I had to deal with a hormonal imbalance, which is
Right.
not something that's very pretty. And like that's the things that you don't see. Like, that's not
Yeah.
something you go around and share to people and be like, ye mere saath ho raha hai, ye ho raha hai.
Yeah.
Like, you have to continue what you're doing. After that, I was like, okay, like, if I'm saying it, I have to believe it myself that this is
Mm.
supposed to be a journey for fun and not for stress. If it's stress
Yeah.
लेके कुछ नहीं होगा, nothing will happen. So I changed my approach. I actually started to believe to have fun with this process and gain the knowledge, learn the processes, and like keep sketching. Just keep sketching. That's it. That's what I
I
did.
think really nicely summarized. Oh, very
Yeah,
nicely
yeah,
summarized. I don't have to say anything after this. You've done a really good job summarizing the whole
yeah. Thanks,
episode and then the whole
thanks.
learning.
Yeah, don't stress.
Nice, very good.
Yeah,
I'm sure, I'm 100% sure that the transition was not easy
it
from,
wasn't.
yeah, the job mindset to the preparation mindset. And I think now again you'll have a lot of things to learn, like 2.5 years of study that is how going to happen now.
And unlearn, as
Yeah,
NID
unlearn as
says.
well. Yeah.
Unlearn.
Yes. And I think bigger challenge because you have worked in the industry. So,
A
like two
lot of
girls.
expectations are
Yeah.
coming from us, which I don't know why. Like, no, please.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah,
at the same time, I'm sure it's going to be fun for you.
it's
And
gonna be really fun. I'm so
yeah,
excited for it.
cool. And I wish you all the best for your masters. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story here.
No problem. It was a great chat with you.
Yes. It was nice to have you.